Hey, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Well, awesome. Well, of course, we're here to talk about the upcoming Scale the Summit album, and of course,
Sure.
you being somewhat brand new to the band, of course, playing for a little bit now, and an amazing back catalog of amazing work that you've done on YouTube and all the great stuff that you've done as a drummer. How did this all come together, joining Scale the Summit?
So that came together. Chris was a kind of followed me on Instagram and stuff, and was a fan of my playing and whatnot. And really, it just stemmed from him asking me to do it, just from seeing my playing and whatnot. So when those guys fell apart, him and Mark and JC, yeah, he just came to me and asked me if I wanted to do it. So it was a pretty simple process, really.
Oh, and that's awesome to hear because, it's like I've been a huge fan of your playing for quite some time, and when I finally saw the news that I had to take a double take on the screen because it's like, oh, no way, like you got it, that's so cool. And it's like I'm so proud of you for getting such an established name out there before you even joined Scale the Summit, but now that you have the Scale the Summit name to your repertoire, I mean, that's just so cool to see.
Yeah, it worked out really well for me, and I really liked the album too. That was the funnest part for me. Obviously, I'd known the band, from back when they toured with Dream Theater and such. So I've been a fan of their stuff for quite a while. Wasn't like a huge listener on some of the newer albums, but then obviously I got into them once me and Chris were talking. But yeah, it worked out really well. The recording was a great time too, and the process has just been really smooth, and everything worked out super well. So I've been enjoying the ride, that's for sure.
How did that recording process go about? I mean, did Chris have an idea of what he wanted you to play, or were you able to take charge of what you were doing on the album?
Yeah, so there was a little bit of both involved. I mean, I had a ton of control over what I was playing, but as far as he did so much pre-production for this album that there were parts, because we didn't write it as a group, obviously, and Chris is, he just writes all the tunes anyways. There was set parts as far as like kick patterns and stuff that I was going to lock in with, especially with the heavy use of synthesizers in this album, which is new. There was definitely some set like structural things where it's like, okay, clearly I'm going to be playing this pattern here or this rhythm here. But as far as writing the drums goes, yeah, it was free reign for me, So I went with some of his feels and just kind of, tapped into his sort of mindset with the program drums. So, it was a little bit of both, but yeah, I definitely had full control over what I played. So I just sat in my basement and went song by song. As he finished songs, he'd send them to me, and I'd kind of write the parts for him. So pretty smooth process as far as that went.
With that, was there any challenges that came about it? Like any ideas that you wanted to make it better or improve that just didn't come until later, or was it smooth all the way around?
I mean, there was a little bit of that just because there was a little time crunch on the album as far as like we knew when I was going out to a Noops to record it. And so, there was definitely like now, like learning the tunes, more, just like familiarizing myself with the music more. There's some things that would have been more fun to maybe throw in, like I can hear some parts here or there. But all in all, the parts were, I don't know. I wrote them. I wanted to keep, I guess the easiest way to say it is not, I didn't want to over busy anything just for the sake of doing it. I definitely wanted the drums to fit the tunes and not just, be a show off sort of deal, because I can do that in my free time. Which, is obviously, any drummer is going to write for the music. But, a little bit now, but the beauty is I can, when I do some of these playthrough videos now that I'm about to get at, I can add, spice some things up here and there. But all in all, yeah, drum parts came really smooth. A lot of fun writing them too. And the music obviously gives me a ton of, approaches. Like I could take it, from a more techie thing, or I could, be more groove based. And the music kind of allows for either.
Yeah, and I've always seen you as that kind of player too. I mean, like with any of the covers that you've done, any of the stuff that you've been a part of with original music, I mean, you have such a great balance of knowing what to play for the music and being able to get more technical as well.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I mean, that's definitely something I strive for, I guess. I want to keep it interesting and bring new ideas to the table, but obviously you don't want to like overshadow a tune or whatnot. So I try to, even in my solo drumming stuff, I'm not really approaching it from a drum solo aspect. I'm hearing, something in my head, just like a groove. At this point, my process is so kind of streamlined. I think I'm hearing music in my head most of the time. And then it just kind of, obviously I'm going to spice up my fills and try to show off a little, technique and whatnot in the solo drum stuff. But, yeah, I'm glad you noticed that in my playing, because I try that anyways.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some parts that, like, I know I can play with note for note, but then when you add those certain touches of technicality, just my mind gets blown every single time.
No, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, and the other thing that I've always been a huge fan of, I mean, besides your playing, is your tuning ability. I mean, with the drums that you have, I mean, sometimes drummers know how to play, but they don't know how to tune, or some drummers know how to tune, but can't really show off many skills outside of playing four to the floor, but you can do both perfectly, and it's just so cool to see.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I definitely strive for, good sound. Good sound overall, meaning, like, obviously if you hear the drums in the room, they sound good, like, tuning, the tuning of the drums and just the gear in general. So yeah, I appreciate you taking notice of that. I mean, you being a drummer yourself, obviously you'll be, listening and watching for that. So it's good to hear from other drummers,
Oh yeah, and of course, you got to work with an amazing drummer on this album in production standpoint.
Yeah, that was awesome having a new. I didn't know him before, so we became buddies just through. We started talking on the phone, obviously, before I went out there. I recorded at his house, which is a killer setup, man. The drum sounds came together super easy. We literally set up the drums and set levels and kind of went with that. And then he, worked his magic, obviously. He mixed the album, so he took it from there. But honestly, the drum sounded so good from the get-go. We had an easy time with that. And he's just a really, really good dude, really easy to work with. And him and I see eye to eye on a lot of things, like, drum-related, so sound and different things like that. So it made it really easy, and it was super nice having a drummer, manning the board when I was playing, because he could really understand what I needed without me having to really explain much. If it was punching a take or whatever, it was really streamlined, and we did it in like 3 days of tracking, so not too bad.
Oh wow, I mean, considering the level of music that you're playing, I mean, getting that all done in 3 days, I mean, flying out in 3 days and then done, that's incredible.
Yeah, we were, I got out there. I drove because I had to bring gear because I didn't have the ability to, like, backline at that point. And I used a Noops floor toms. We used a mixed kit on the album. We used my rack toms primarily because we were going to use his whole Tama kit, actually. I brought my D-Dub out there, but I hadn't signed with Tama at that point, but then I kind of knew I was going to be. And so it was like, oh, it'd be nice if we could use Tama, because he's a Tama guy too. And what we ended up doing is, using my rack toms, the 8 and 10 inch, and then we used his floor toms, 14 and 16, and then his kick drum as well, and then we used my snare, which is a Tama anyways. But got out there, set up, recorded for 3 days after that, and then hung for a day, and that was it. So I was out there for like 8 days, and it was a speedy little process, but it went really well.
Did you learn any tips or tricks when you were out there from him, or was it just like so focused on getting the album done?
I learned some stuff just by watching or being around him, but it wasn't. Yeah, we were so focused on getting the project done, there wasn't a ton of time to like geek out on kind of digital stuff or mixing or whatever. But I picked up some things just watching him. Yeah, just his workflow and stuff, and kind of certain little things I'd never really seen before, as far as like editing and just kind of engineering, I guess, as a whole. But it was nice. His setup is super nice there and super streamlined, and his room is awesome. So we had a fun time banging that out.
Oh yeah, I've always been a huge fan of his drum sound and his playing. So when I found out that he was going to be a part of the production process for this album, and he was getting to record you, I know he was going to do a great job with your playing and your style.
Yeah, exactly. He was great to get in general obviously just in general because he's a good dude and he does his job well. But for this album, I feel like it was really good getting him on board, because the music is definitely it's heavier in a sense. And when I use the term heavy, I guess I mean it's just thicker with more sounds, and it's kind of more vibey. Obviously, the synthesizers bring a ton of that vibe, but but just in general, I feel like the production having some beef to it, which, you know, Anoop's known for that. You know, if you know Anoop's sound, then you know kind of he has that like sort of thicker, you know, I guess thicker, lush sound. It's warmer, and I feel like the music was really fitting with that. It turned out super well. I know we've only released one single as of now, so you haven't to hear the whole thing, but we'll have another one coming next week, and then there'll kind of be one every 2 weeks until the album comes out May 19th, so you'll get to hear a little bit more of it soon.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I mean, when I saw the album teaser that came out, it's just like all of the ideas that were flowing through there. I was just spellbound by all the ideas that were coming from all of you guys on there, and just hearing your playing with Chris is just something I didn't imagine years ago, but I'm just so happy that it's happening now.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I never really thought of, you know, as a drummer, you always think, you know, how would my playing fit with this guy, or you know, what could I lend to his style that would really help mine? And there was definitely a natural sort of combination between his playing and mine. I'm definitely a busier drummer. That I try to utilize accents and stuff within the busyness. So although it's kind of a thicker backdrop of rhythms, I usually have standout rhythms sort of over that, you know. So it's like you can latch on to either the simplicity of the larger rhythm thing I'm doing, or you can kind of get into sort of the ghost notey stuff. My left hand is kind of constantly moving on something. And he, like with his playing, his phrasing is so, I guess, articulate, you could say, where, you know, it's obviously there's a lot of melodies and stuff like that. So there's that side of it, but just his riffs and stuff are sort of, I guess they're just kind of natural rhythmically. And I feel like that mixed with my playing is a pretty good combo, because you get a sort of a gelled, you know, sound going on. It's kind of a unison deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's what always drove me to the band. I mean, I think it was the same show we were both at for Progressive Nation when Scale the Summit was a part of that. And it's just, I became an instant fan from there. Like, I kind of knew about them, but once I saw them live, I just became a huge fan of Chris and his style, and been following him over the years. And I've gotten the opportunity to talk to Chris a few times, especially when I was starting off as that drummer guy. He was one of the first ones to really help me out with interviews. So it's great to have him come back this way around. I mean, with you know, you being here from Minnesota, and just with all the amazing work that you've done beforehand, and it's all kind of coming together for me as well, but even more so for you taking it back from that Progressive Nation show and now getting to be on a Scale the Summit album.
Yeah, totally. It's super funny how that kind of thing works. You know, it's like it's something you'd never really think of doing. And I'm a project guy. I've always kind of been that way. I was in school for so long that nobody really knew who I was, except for like if you'd seen me play live or whatever. I never was really playing locally with crazy bands. You know, I did the cover thing or whatever. But to come out sort of school and just kind of get into this whirlwind, you know, it sort of just took off on its own, which is, I'm grateful for everybody who's been a part of it, obviously. But it was kind of a natural process. Just boom, it was like a year out of school, and all of a sudden everybody kind of knows who I am in the music, you know, whatever that means, like in the music drum world. And so to now have like a bigger band name behind me right away has been great. Not only because of the name and sort of the power it already holds in the mainstream, or well, mainstream's a weird word, but you know what I'm saying, in the music prog land. It's really beneficial for me too, with companies and just meeting other people. And I'm a project guy in a sense. Like, I want to keep more projects going on and doing albums like this. So yeah, super funny. You sit back, you're like, wait a second, I'm a member of Scale of Summit. Oh, okay, cool, you know.
Absolutely. So
yeah, Chris is a good dude too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna ask, you know, it's like of course, well before Scale the Summit, like I really became familiar with your stuff from the amazing videos that you put up on YouTube. What got the idea for you to wanting to start going in that direction with your drum videos, with putting them up on YouTube?
Yeah, that's a good question. So how that all kind of came about, you know, I do definitely put them on YouTube. They usually stem from the Instagram platform, so there's a lot of shorter ones, you know. And obviously that minute feature really helped. But my whole mindset when I started posting more videos was like, it was like this weird, it almost sounds dark, but it was like I didn't want to die without anybody knowing my playing. You know, like it was like all this effort and energy put into something, and it would be a shame if nobody ever heard it really, besides, you know, a few videos here and there. And so it kind of stems from that, where I was just like, I want like a time capsule of all my ideas and stuff. And it started as training sort of for me. So like I knew people would dig the ideas just by default, but I had no idea that it was going to kind of take on its own life. I was never setting out to be like an Instagram drummer, It just kind of happened that way, because I just wanted to share ideas. And it's really good for my playing because I kind of force myself then basically every day to come up with an idea that can hold its own weight. Like I'm super picky with what I post. I don't really post something if I feel like it doesn't have any, like I'll post some improvised jams and stuff, but you'll never see my mistakes and stuff like that. I purposely don't post videos that really aren't perfect to an extent. So yeah, it just kind of started there. I wanted to practice a lot and get these ideas out and force myself to come up with like completed ideas, where if you listen to any video of mine, you'll kind of get an intro, a middle, and an end, sort of. So yeah, just started there, and then now it's just crazy, but it's fun. It's a good time.
What was the first Instagram video where you realized that your popularity was really starting to take off?
That is a good question as well. It's funny. There was one time, like I still had notifications on my phone and stuff, because I was new to Instagram. I had like 200 followers, and they were all like Facebook friends or whatever that just transferred over. And I posted a video of me jamming to a chroma key tune. You would know the song well, Camera 4.
Oh yes.
And yeah. And there's no drums in it, but it's kind of got like a natural groove going on. So I wanted to put some drum parts in it. And I noticed like Vic Firth liked it, and all these companies, and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. It is like you're geeking out on like fanboying kind of. And that started to get attention. Like I woke up that next morning, and like there was like, hundreds of notifications or whatever, because my video got shared a bunch of times, and then all these people liked it. And so that's when I was like, okay, maybe this is a good idea, start posting these videos, and it's going to spread. And that's pretty much what it did. I started in October of 2015. Yeah, it's 17 now. Wow. And so October of 2015, and then I'm up to like, I think I have like 80,000, over 80,000 followers now. It's like 82,000 or something. Even if half of them are fake chicks and accounts or whatever, the audience is there, and people enjoy my playing, which is really all that matters. So it's a good time. It keeps you humble, because you're always just pushing, and it's a lot of work, especially because I work full time, and money doesn't really come from that. Like there's ways to kind of wrangle your fan base a little bit and like sort of monetize it, I guess, a little bit, but I try to keep it pretty natural with that. And I'm going to start doing more lessons and stuff like that, and hopefully my drumming audience can utilize that a little bit more, because I've definitely not been doing enough of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've really established a great name out there with all the covers that you've done, even with drumless tracks. I mean, like with The Walking Dead or with Chroma Key or whatever the case is, really just showing off those cases and getting more into that drum teacher lesson aspect. I think that could really benefit a lot of people, especially those that are brand new to you, being longtime Scale the Summit fans.
Right, yeah, that's just it. I've been teaching drums obviously for a long time, and I've always, it's always just been in-home lessons. I really don't do many Skype ones either. I can do it. I just never have really focused on doing it hardcore. And now it's kind of getting to the point where, I get a lot of questions, obviously, and, technique this, technique that, or whatever it may be. And the time has definitely come for me to start doing sort of tutorial vids and like mini lessons, basically. And I try to stick to that. Like I don't do a lot of covers of music. Like I don't play to a Dream Theater song or whatever, just because the copyright issues, and I don't like mixing my drums with another person's drums. So with the drumless stuff, what I enjoy about that too is then it's my creation. And so I'm doing a Scale the Summit book, which is an absolute nightmare, but I'm trying to plug away at it. And I'm going to do the ideology one too, which is a nightmare as well, but I've done about half of it already from my master's degree. I did like a thesis on it. So I'll get these books out and start doing little lesson packages that, are really useful. Like not just, here's another sticking, it'll be like applicable to some sort of musical situation. So I'm going to get on that soon.
Yeah, and I know your endorsers would really love that as well. I mean, especially with all the popularity that you've been getting from these videos. I mean, being able to show off your kits in true form and learning ability, I mean, that's going to generate a lot of talk for you.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I went down, even just doing these videos that I've been doing, like I went down to Nashville and did some Scale of Summit videos, and then just a few just jams that mine will be sort of releasing over the next few months or whatever. You know, they do that with all their artists. And that was such a good opportunity for me just to, it's nice to have these, like the support system behind you. It has nothing to do with like free gear or whatever. I mean, yeah, that part is essential sort of to survive as a musician. You know, the amount of gear that we all go through is, you know, it's laughable when you start adding up the amount of money you put into it. But definitely the sponsors, like the companies, would get a lot from these videos as well to that next level and start doing, you know, sort of online lesson-based stuff. But it's a lot of work, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's with all the work that you do put in. I mean, working full-time, making all these videos, joining Scale to Summit, Ideology. I mean, all this great stuff that you do. I mean, you're definitely showing that all of it can pay off when you really do follow your dream.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the thing is I'd go down, you know, like money. I don't, you know, I'm not driven by money. I just want to enjoy my daily life sort of thing. And it feels rewarding and self-rewarding, I guess, just to get some recognition out of it or whatever. And like, I'm glad that people enjoy my playing, but I would do it if nobody would watch it too, you know? So it's good if you just keep pushing, you know, you know how it works too. It's like that for what you do. The more effort you put into it, the more you're going to see some results. And that's just it. You got to build a pyramid one brick at a time. You can't get hung up on too many things, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And
it's easy. It's easy to get a little disgruntled or, you know, like, oh man, this feels like it's for nothing. But then one day you look back, you're like, oh yeah, sweet. This all led to this, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was definitely like that over the years when I just started this idea of that drummer guy just wanting to show off the music that I care about. And right now with this interview, you're number 299 for the amount of interviews that I've done. So, you know, it's just like, 5.5 years later, it's led up to being able to promote one of the best drummers that I know, being able to talk about the brand new album from Scale to Summit that you're playing on. I mean, who would have thought that would happen?
I know, it's super funny, man. You've gotten to interview a lot of cool people too, so I appreciate you doing this.
Oh, absolutely. So after the album drops, is there any talks of anything else that's going on with Scale to Summit this year?
So I'm going to go and we're going to shoot some music videos soon for a few of the tunes. I think we're going to try and do 4. And they'll be, you know, just obviously with instrumental music, it'll just be more around us playing, I think, than anything. But it'll be interesting to see what we come up with. So the ideas are swirling for that. We're going to do that here at the end of April, and then tour-wise and stuff, we're kind of waiting to see. But that's more than likely going to happen in some form or another. It'll just be a matter of with who more than anything, I think. So yeah, as of right now, that's kind of the future of the project is just kind of, you know, promote before it comes out, obviously, and get enough people to check it out and want to pick it up. It's going to be, you know, I'm excited to hear people's reactions to it. Even, you know, it's been really positive so far, with even the one single and the teaser. So I'm excited for people to hear the whole thing, obviously. And then, yeah, I'm going to just, on my own, I'll keep doing projects. Me and my guitar player from Ideology, Mike Salo, we're doing an album right now. And that's going to be pretty cool. Instrumental stuff, kind of a wide range of styles. And that's crazy. He's insane. So those things are coming together really well, too. So, yeah, that's kind of my year right now as far as Scale goes. You know, just I'm going to do the playthroughs and get a ton of videos going for them. And then, yeah, I've done a few of them already. And I know Chris and Killian, the bass player, they've already shot videos for all the tunes, I believe, as well. So it'll be fun to show those off. And then I might jam here with Chris Feener's throwing together a solo album. I don't know if you follow him, but he is doing some solo work, and it looks like I might play drums on that as well, which would be cool because it's some slamming stuff.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, I'm a huge fan of his stuff. I mean, that's awesome. You get to be a part of that as well, possibly.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing that the last few days, so it's in fruition, and you know, he's just writing away and doing his thing as it would be. He's just doing it as it would be. And I brought it up to him. I'm like, man, I love this stuff. If you're looking drummer, let me know, because I'd love to jam on it. So he was all about it. He follows my stuff and whatnot. So I'd known he had, knew who I was, and obviously liked my playing to some extent. So that could be a cool little project too.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, again, Charlie, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. I'm glad that you were able to fit in the time to talk about the brand new Scale Summit, which of course is coming out in May, with your amazing playing that's on there. And again, just like being a fan of yours for so long, and I think it might have even been that Chroma Key video where I really started to pay attention to what you were doing as a drummer and just following you all this time. I'm just so happy and proud of you for all the work that you've been able to accomplish with every project that you've ever been a part of, and I'm glad to see everything that's working out for you as far as endorsements, joining Scale Summit, and getting that name recognition that you truly deserve.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for all the support through years now. It's crazy. And yeah, anytime you want to talk, man, we can talk whatever topics you want, music related, so you just let me know.
Oh yeah, I would definitely love to be able to talk to you again, like after the album drops, just to get more of a fan perspective when with everything, and just like really getting that initial reaction of how people feel about the album, and just like talking music and all that stuff. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, definitely, man. Anytime, just we'll set that up, and yeah, that'd be a good idea too, to talk after the album, after you get to digest it a little bit and stuff, and everybody else as well. So that'd be fun.
Oh, absolutely. Well, before I wrap things up here, again, thank you for taking the time to do this. Is there anything else that you would like to mention that I haven't brought up yet?
I don't think so. I think that's about it for me right now. Pretty much just Scale and Ideology. We're going to do another EP with that group, so that'll be cool. So that'll probably take place throughout the year, and how long it takes to get things done. But maybe by the end of the year, have that. So yeah, I'll just keep jamming away and doing my solo drum stuff as well. So there's always content to watch from my end. So yeah, that's about it for me.